See him a beast when you hear that sound like yeah, beat on the beat when you hear that sound like woo. Yeah, bitch and the champ only need one round like yeah, me, I'm a G right here.
Fighting like a Cage Fury 121 on July 14th in Tunica, the man himself, Komodo Joe Tran. Joe, how we doing, dude? It's almost fight week.
Yeah, doing good. I'm feeling good. For this fight, I'm fighting 135 as opposed to 125. So slightly less, a little less hungry and a little less dehydrated this time around, but still working just as hard.
So I saw on your Instagram you have a post where you shed from like 155 to 125 or something like that. So not that crazy a weight cut this time?
No, not that crazy at all. No.
Is bantamweight the plan for the future, or is flyweight still the plan?
Well, honestly, I have a bunch of like life stuff coming up right now. So 125 is a bit of a process for me. I'd say probably about like an 8-week process for me. Yeah. So with 135, I can a bit more comfortable for me, just between like balance and can I still do like a full-time job and everything. So I can't be going to the office just completely drained and
No, 100%, man. Screw that. I wrestled growing up. That was the worst part of wrestling, is cutting weight. So I do not wish it on you MMA fighters. And talking about personal life a little bit, dude. We haven't seen you in the cage in almost a year. What have you been up to, dude?
Honestly, so I took this job last year, and I was basically getting ready to move during my fights. And you could imagine the stress of just doing these like 2 to 3 days 2-3 times a day sessions. And then, also getting ready to move your entire life down to, so at the time for me, it was moving down to Florida from Tennessee. And so after that fight, I essentially just wanted to just take a step back for a second, focus on life, work. I coach them. I still coach as well with this kids jiu-jitsu program. I just want to just focus on me for a little bit. And when I was ready, I wanted to get back in.
Well, we're excited to have you back. July 14th. Yeah. It's going to be your 4th fight with Cage Fury, 4th in Tunica. What's up with that? Is that like your favorite fight spot to fight now?
Well, it's quite an improvement. Amateurs coming up is these dusty bars, and actually, I was kind of like I didn't really fight really too many bars. Actually, it was mostly like music, like almost like music rooms. I don't know. It's like a music not say arena venues. There we go.
Sure. Yeah.
Tunica is basically whenever Cage Fury comes by, they always hit me up and they're like, "Hey, you want to fight?"
Yeah, right.
And Tunica is like the biggest venue around here. It's a casino. It's like a casino area that's close about an hour-ish away from here. And I'm lucky to have a lot of supporters that are around here that will travel to watch me fight.
You bringing like a big crowd with you?
I usually do.
Let's go. And we got to tell Arius, man. Like, would you like to fight up here, Philly, New Jersey, or in Florida?
Man, I'd absolutely love it. I would love to fight up in Philly or New Jersey. Yeah, anywhere, man. I love it.
Well, Arius watches my interviews. So, Arius, let's go. Get my man Joe Tran up here. We can buy him some cheesesteaks and watch him kick some ass.
Oh, man, that'd be the best. Just finish up a fight real quick and just get a Philly cheesesteak.
My like list of fighters I owe a cheesesteak is growing exponentially. So I'll write you down. You're on the list when I see you in person. Cheesesteaks.
Oh, man. Absolutely.
But before that, Cage Fury 121. Got to get through that. You're taking on Evaniel Johnson. What are your thoughts on him? How did this fight come to be?
So essentially they just offered me a weight class and a name, and you know what? I was like, I'm going to fight 135 this time, and they gave me Evaniel, and I'm ready to go. I've seen Evaniel fight before. We just kind of barely meet each other in amateurs, honestly. So. I don't know how much you know of my fight career. I actually did start at 135, and then I had this really rough fight where I basically, I've talked about this in other interviews, but I had this fight at 135 against a really bigger guy. And after that fight, they told me I should go down to 125, and by the time I switched to 125, Evaniel, I believe, was coming up. So I've seen him fight a few times. I think he's decent. He's all rounder. He has decent kickboxing. I know he does some jujitsu. I think he's a purple belt. Funny enough, I've actually met him on the local jiu-jitsu scene.
Oh, okay.
He's pretty often a referee for like the new breed jiu-jitsu circuit. And I often coach my kids in those tournaments. So I've had a few talks with him and stuff. So nice guy. It's nothing personal, but I've got to come out with the win.
It's a small world. And are you talking about that Michael Cribb fight?
Yeah, Michael Cribb, yeah.
Yeah, he was the fight right after you on that card. So, or Evaniel Johnson. So yeah, it's small world indeed. And since you're pretty familiar with the guy, how do you feel like your guys' styles match up against each other in the cage?
No, I feel like he has I mean, I don't know. I feel like it'd be a good fight. I think I wouldn't say even. I wouldn't say it's like similar to mine because I don't think it is. Because I'm often a shorter fighter. I like to pressure forward, but he has a pretty long guard. He likes a long game. He likes to throw kicks and just kind of edge people out. I think he is a slow starter. So I'm hoping on to bring the pressure real quick. But I think the only way to know is to know next week.
And if I'm like a little kid fan running up to you, Komodo Joe, how's your fight gonna go down? What do you think's gonna happen? What do you tell me?
I think that I'm gonna pressure him, take him down, and probably get a submission. I think that's the way that's the way my a lot of my fights go. But well, the only one we know.
Hey man, we're gonna find out. And I know, do you know Ethan Melisano at all? I know he goes to your guys' gym maybe sometimes.
I have well, he hasn't come to our gym, but I've seen him a lot. Like
Okay.
I've seen him like corner a lot of people. Like basically whenever I fight at Cage Fury or even I think maybe even V3, I may have seen him. But yeah, no, I've passed by him, but I haven't really talked to him that much.
Okay, I only ask because I know that you guys have a lot of mutual followers. You're in the same circuit, and he just knocked out Evaniel Johnson in seconds. So I wanted to ask if you talked to him at all about that, got any advice. But since you didn't, did you take anything away from that fight at least?
No, it's good. I think I watched that fight a lot in Evaniel's previous fight with Muhammad Imud. And I think there's a lot to take away from that. And that's why I did notice a long guard, is that, Ethan really hit him with that spinning back kick. It was beautiful. It was a highlight reel.
So
I mean,
nice,
honestly,
dude.
I would post that every single day for the rest of my life if I had that type of knockdown.
Dude, Ethan's a beast, man. That Spartan Fitness gym's crazy.
Yeah, I know. And I've actually been meaning to come down there because they're not. I mean, I guess it's pretty far. It's like 3 hours away, but
It'd be worth the trip.
yeah, it would definitely would be.
And Joe, for yourself, your professional record right now is 1-2.
Mhm.
How important is it to you to get back to 500? Like, is this a more important fight than normal, or just kind of business as usual?
It for me personally, it's pretty important. I don't know. I don't want to be. I don't know. It's like I don't want to be a type of fighter that just wins one, lose one, wins one, lose one. Like for me, like I want to prove to myself that I can get back to where I was, back in amateurs, like having a good win rate. And I've changed a lot of things for this camp. I'm training with a law school, getting ready for this fight. And it's hard, grueling training, but I really think it's what I need. And I really just shout out to Brian Hall for letting me go over there and train because he has a bunch of really good up and coming guys that are they just scrap and I love the environment honestly and also crazy hot. I don't know if I could.
Yeah.
I just want to throw it out there if Brian's watching because that gym right now is like has to be at over 100 degrees every time I come over there. But you know what? It builds up mentality, and I like it. I like to grind. But I think that for me, I absolutely not leaving that cage without a win.
And that was kind of a perfect segue into my next question. I wanted to talk about Law School MMA, the new
Mhm.
spot. Just kind of name drop some of your teammates, your coaches. How has camp been?
Yeah, camp has been really good. So essentially, at my gym, I'm really like the only MMA fighter. I don't know if that's apparent from the posts. We're a big jiu-jitsu gym. awesome jiu-jitsu. Eric Ingram and Stephen Combs, they're awesome. Like they have a great, well-rounded game. They coach well together. They're coaching me coming into this fight as well. But I kind of approached them before this camp and I said, hey, I'd like to train over with Brian and his guys because they have a lot of guys that are kind of my weight class as well. At my gym, I'm the lightest guy. Like I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the lightest guy at my gym is probably like that's not me. Is probably around 165, maybe 170,
Getting
which
the
is
work in.
yeah, I know, but that helps me honestly. It helps me wrestle and grapple with guys bigger than me. But at the same time, I'm not used to people my own body type until I basically get into the cage or on a
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu from that, right? Um, no, they're awesome coaches. Brian's also been offering like great tons and awesome advice. He had a pretty good long career, and he's really good at kind of passing on that knowledge to all of his guys. Um, but yeah, no, I shout out to AB, Keon. I don't know how many other people I train, but those two guys to bring it to me like every single time I show up. Great wrestling rounds, great scrap rounds. AB himself just won a title, I think, with it's like a local promotion, SCFC. And he's an up and coming guy. Keep a lookout for him. He's still an amateur, but when he hits pro, it's like no one's gonna be ready.
And out of all the killers you just mentioned, who's going to be in your corner for this one?
It's gonna be Steven and Eric, and then I have another really close training partner of mine, Ahmed. He helps me with jiu-jitsu basically ever since I started. And also I did karate for a long time, and Ahmed's always been there for me too. So, Brian has like I think four, maybe five guys on this card. So I'm sure he'll be offering some advice on that one. Yeah, he's got stable fighters. They're awesome.
Yeah, you guys got a busy night over there. And
Mhm.
after you get the win, after you're back to 500, 2-2, what's next for you more immediately? Like, is there anybody you would like to fight or interested in fighting? And if everything stays healthy and good, when would you like to get back in there?
I mean, honestly, I don't have any other goals out after this fight until I win this fight. Like for me right now, this fight is the most important thing. In my fighting career, it's the most important thing for me. Is I fight this fight the best way I can, and hopefully that yeah, I get to show what I've been working on, and I'll decide after that what's the next move.
Do you have your eyes on Shamel Finley versus Dorjiev at all for that flyweight title?
Man, I'm real interested in it.
Good
It
fight.
looks like good, yeah. But Dorjev's really good. Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on him for a while.
Yeah, and I interviewed Shamel yesterday, and yeah, he got me extra excited for that one. And did you watch Vilson's knockout a couple weeks ago?
I missed that one.
You gotta watch that one back. That was brutal because that's 135. That could be your belt someday.
Yeah.
And then I know you don't want to look past Evaniel at all. I'm not asking you to do that here, but just I as a reporter, journalist, whatever you want to call me, I have to know your ultimate career goals. Like what does that look like? Are you satisfied, happy with cage career? You're going to plan on chasing that title and securing that, or are you going to just keep your horizon open and whatever calls you get, promotions you get, you're going to explore?
Um, I'm real excited to fight for Cage Fury every single time. I love that they always keep have me coming back.
Yeah.
But of course, I do want to set my sights, on the bigger stage. And all of this is to help me get ready for all of that. Yeah, and for me, for my fighting career and as a martial artist, it's always been about seeing how high I can go, and testing my limits. And I do feel like every time that I fight, I do get better. I learn, even if it's a particularly grueling fight, like with Chris last year. But I still learned a lot from that fight, and every other fight I'm going to do. So I'm hoping to take that experience and build upon it, and move on to the big leagues eventually.
And before we get out of here, man, again, thank you for the time. Great interview. Appreciate you. And you have so many fans. You're bringing a crowd, so many eyes on CFFC 121, UFC Fight Pass. I can shut up and stop promoting. People know how big the show is. That being said, I want to give you the opportunity. Is there anything you would like to say to everyone and all your fans? If so, the mic is yours. Take it away.
Yeah. I'd like to thank everyone that's supported me throughout the years. It's funny when I was training at Brian Gym, I met one of his really new amateur fighter guys, and he asked me how long I've been fighting, and I really thought back, like, man, it's been 6 years, and that's from amateurs all to now. I remember the first time I decided to take a fight, and I've always been a UFC fan because who isn't? And I thought, like, what, maybe I should do a fight one day, and why not? And I just took one, and so I took a fight, got ready for it. If I sucked, I sucked, and I was okay with that. And winning one fight, and then I won the next one. And I just think back about all those people who supported me when they didn't even know if I was going to be good or if even I was going to win, but they supported me nonetheless. And I really appreciate everyone from really just the Memphis community, specifically my gym, but the Memphis community. I always meet people randomly at Costco and Target that see me fight, and I really appreciate them watching me and continue to support me.
That's awesome, man. And big things incoming for you for sure. And it all starts July 14th in Tunica at CFFC 121. So, ladies and gentlemen, check it out on UFC Fight Pass or OnlyFans for the prelims, which is pretty cool, I guess. And don't miss Komodo Joe Tran kicking some buns. Joe, my man, thank you so much. Give me a big old flex and get out of here. Go train, bro.
Yeah, thank you.